This is Algebra Lesson 11.5, Exploring a Conjecture. So this assignment isn't like the traditional assignments that we've had so far, where we're going to do some notes and then do some exercises. This assignment is actually a project in which you'll have to collect some data and then do some data calculations and then create some graphs. The assignment is laid out step by step below. I'm going to just go over some key highlights with you, and if you need further assistance, let me know live and in person and we can go through this kind of together. The assignment is designed for you to be kind of creative in your data selection. If you'd rather not be so creative, I can give you a really specific data method to use. I don't really have a preference as long as I see you actually collecting the data, doing the data calculations, and creating the graphs. So a conjecture, another word for conjecture, it would be hypothesis, but a conjecture is a statement that might be true but has yet to be proven. Your goal is to come up with a conjecture relating to things and collect and analyze the numeric evidence to support your conjecture or cast doubt on it. So I'm going to just move on down. The idea is that you can pick two books, and the example here says you could use maybe like a history book and a math book, and your conjecture might be the history book has more words per sentence than the math book. And so you would have to grab a history book, collect some data on words per sentence, grab a math book, collect some data on words per sentence, and then do your data calculations based on those two lists. The options are up to you, so you can use two of the same kind of books, or maybe two reading books with different reading levels. You can look for pictures in books. The example that I'm going to give you, if you want, is to use two math books. So I have an algebra book and a geometry book, and the conjecture that you can use if you choose to is that the blank book has more exercises than the blank book. So whether you think the algebra book has more or the geometry book has more, that's kind of up to you. I'd like you to make a conjecture or a guess before collecting any data. Then grab the math books, grab the algebra book, and collect at least 15 data points. So randomly open up the algebra book to a lesson and see how many exercises are in that lesson. Find a second lesson in the book. How many exercises in that lesson? Find a third, fourth, fifth. Find 15 different lessons in the book. Record in a list how many exercises are in each of those lessons. And then you would repeat that process with the geometry book. Open up to a random lesson, how many exercises? Open up to a second lesson, how many exercises? Until you have 15 lessons from the algebra book and 15 lessons from the geometry book in your table of data showing you how many exercises you have. If you can do that, that gets you through step 1 and step 2 and step 3. And I think those are kind of the confusing steps of this. Once you do that, it's a bunch of data and graphs that we've been working on for most of the chapter, so those are much more straightforward. Once you have your data, find your mean, median, and mode. That's what measures of center are, mean, median, and mode. Find your range, subtract your maximum and your minimum. Find your 5-number summary. That's your minimum, your first quartile, your median, your third quartile, and your maximum, and so on and so on. Again, anywhere you get stuck, let me know. I can help you do some of these data measures together or some of these graphs together. If you need help with just the data collection, I can do that too. But after you've gone through and done all your data, all of your graphs, then you're supposed to say, yep, I was right, or nope, I was wrong. And in each case, you would have to say because and give some stats evidence. So you could say, I was right because the mean here is higher than the mean here. Or I was wrong because you can see the distribution on the graph here versus the graph here. And then you can turn all that into me, and that's it. So it might be confusing, but it's a pretty straightforward process once you get started. Let me know if you really need help, and good luck on your project.